This video is definitely not for you, Olympic-level dreamer, who still believes a little heart emoji on WhatsApp will magically grow reciprocity in barren soil. Keep thinking, "Sorry, been busy" is the go-to line for someone who has a super-packed life with other people, obviously. Has persistence become your middle name? Then keep at it, confusing stalking with romance, and thinking that getting ghosted is just a lack of attention. What a spectacle. Life moves on, and you're always one step behind, convinced this is the love marathon. But don't sweat it, champ! The script hasn't changed. While you're busy cultivating flowers, she's handing out exclusive content to guys who don't even know your full name. Gentle advice? Healthy communication? How adorable, but this isn't group therapy for bruised egos. Get ready to face the unfiltered truth. If she ignored you, congrats again. You've just been promoted from a priority to a punchline. Insist? Better practice your woof woof, puppy. Your only role is to cheer up her calendar whenever she feels like it. Except today, there's this thing called Rule 2, the deadly silence. That absence that oozes through her timeline and leaves a bitter taste of, "I was a fool and didn't even realize it." Respond, only if it's the call of dignity. Disappear, but do it with style. Because the sting of being forgotten by someone indifferent is the greatest gift you can give to the one who only knows how to test other people's patience. And yes, she viewed it, ignored it, posted a selfie, dropped a subtle shade, rehearsed a fake giggle for her audience of emotional zombies, and you thought it was a coincidence? There goes another "Hey stranger" from someone who didn't understand the show at all. My friend, she's testing you like a product on a shelf. She shakes it, sniffs it, sees if it's any good, and when in doubt, tosses it back. Are you really going to grovel to stroke someone else's ego? How lovely. Emotional juggling in the public square. And then, your turn arrives in the theater. A meme, a link, a sweet little question. You think you're being evaluated as a prince? Only if it's for the role of a doormat. Guys believe reacting is strength, but they're just handing over the password to their own desperation. A woman who plays these games doesn't want a man. She wants a pet, the kind that happily wags its tail after being snubbed. Time for the lesson no one told you. He who goes silent rules. He who ignores commands respect. He who disappears leaves a trail of absence that burns. Rule 2 is simple. She ignores you, you vanish. She feels something. That's her problem. The echo of her own emptiness will hit so hard that maybe she'll learn the difference between a strategic disappearance and performative neediness. Hold that ego, because now you're the one performing the magic by vanishing. But wait, let's activate that last working brain cell. This video didn't fall from the sky. It's not a gift from the universe, nor did it descend from a quantum spaceship. Someone with more self-respect than you liked, commented, and subscribed. It wasn't destiny. It was the algorithm. And the algorithm has no pity or patience for grown men crying in the corners. So, if you're sitting there all offended, consuming free content as if the universe owes you applause, props to your audacity. Like, subscribe, and comment gratitude to fool yourself into thinking you've learned something. Now, enough with the self-esteem massage. Prepare for the emotional dropkick and try not to ask for comfort afterward. Number 1. She doesn't ignore you by accident. It's architecture of contempt, not a memory lapse. Oh, you still believe she forgot to reply? Bless your heart. She opened the message, read it, was active all day on social media, and funnily enough, only couldn't spare 0.3 seconds to send you a, "Hey." Must be a glitch in the matrix, right? The love-struck ego performs all sorts of mental gymnastics just to avoid admitting the obvious. Ignoring has become an Olympic sport, and you're the volunteer for humiliation. She doesn't ignore you by chance. She ignores you by emotional engineering. Silence is the cheapest currency to measure your neediness, and guess what? Predictable guys line up to get ghosted. She disappears just to see how many notifications you send, how many awkward voice notes you produce, how many idiotic memes you invent just to stay on her radar. Your every move is analyzed like a lab animal. She pokes you, you wag your tail. She goes quiet, you appear in an infinite loop. Know what she finds out? That you're just another sheep in the herd of desperation. Meanwhile, you're on emotional standby, blaming astrological chaos or an existential crisis. None of that, champ. It's just her power testing. The more you grovel, the harder she steps on you. It's not disinterest. It's a spectacle. And you, the luxury extra, have been promoted to her official self-esteem mascot with a badge, red carpet, and a broom in hand. The day she realized your fear of losing her was greater than your self-respect, you stopped being a man and became ego decoration. It wasn't bad luck. It wasn't an unlucky break. It was just you treating calculated silence as if it were a cry for help. The result? An impeccable performance in the self-sabotage circus. Applause for the main artist. You. Number 2. Rule 2. The elegant ghosting. Congratulations, you finally realized you were ignored on purpose. Maturity hurts, right? But hold up. Don't write an emotional novel. Don't send a sad voice note. And definitely not that classic question, is everything okay? Spoiler, she's perfectly fine without you. Now Rule 2 steps in. And know what it teaches? That disappearing is the answer, silence is the argument, and self-respect is a luxury few know. No vanishing in a fit of pique, and don't block her just to see if she misses you. That's a needy teenager script. The disappearance here is surgical, elegant, almost artistic. It's leaving the stage quietly, without drama, without the need to be noticed. It's giving her the privilege of realizing too late that your absence is missed more than the presence of someone who begs. Strategic absence isn't running away, it's checkmate. While she waits for your predictable reaction to feed her own ego, you deliver nothing. Absolute silence, the most sophisticated sound of selective contempt. The famous, "I'm not your little emotional plaything anymore," wrapped in maturity and indifference. While the rest of the desperate guys line up in the rejected circus, you learn to vanish with class, and that, my friend, turns you into the mystery that won't be solved. And you know that doubt that will eat away at her ego weeks later. Why did he never talk to me again? That's the side effect of Rule 2. You disappear with coldness, with clarity, without longing or relapse. After all, he who is silent humiliates in quiet. Number 3. The impact of the calm disappearance. The silence that screams louder than any essay. She swore you'd star in the "Where Are You?" show, throw a tantrum in the chat, launch question marks, long-winded messages, drama, and Oscar-worthy self-humiliation. But then, out of nowhere, you vanished. No notification, no "good morning," no desperate voice note. Her ego? It was prepared for fireworks and received the subtle sound of absolute vacuum. That's when the magic begins. Calm silence is like fancy poison, the kind she only feels after days of empty stories and ghost notifications. First, she thinks it's cute. She thinks it's male pride. She laughs, she parades, she feels in control of the situation. How sweet. But hours turn into days. The memes die, the messages disappear, and your presence becomes history. Suddenly, that silence starts echoing louder than any rejected person shouting. She realizes it's not a game. It's not a temper tantrum. You left. No script, no speech, no show. Her world, so used to your emotional standby, now has a void. And it is in that emptiness that regret starts screaming. The result? She revisits your profile, drops a hint, posts a generic quote expecting a reaction. But you remain unshakable, quieter than a wandering soul. Because the calm disappearance is a message to those who understand. Dignity is non-negotiable. It's not revenge, it's self-respect. Nothing hurts more than losing someone who didn't beg to stay. He just vanished. And the void that remains isn't punishment, it's a lesson. Silence turns into VIP trauma. And in the end, you come back a changed man, if you come back at all. Number 4. The revenge of indifference. When the clown leaves, the circus collapses. She wanted a show, applause, your dignity jumping through hoops in the arena of neediness. But you surprised her. Instead of scrambling for attention, you simply disappeared from the show. No crisis, no essay, no sappy relapse. And just like that, What we call the revenge of indifference began, the true terror of every audience controller. She tries to poke you, sends a meme, drops a hint, parades that uncreative, "Hey, stranger." And you've turned into a wall. Now every one of her provocations bounces back with the force of someone who doesn't even flinch. The side effect of your silence. The collapse of the script she always used to keep her ego fed. And it's useless. She'll put on her usual show, try to appear, disappear, and resurface just to make sure she still has power. But this time, you cut the fuel. You don't react, you don't comment, you don't wilt, you don't roll out the red carpet. You become a VIP ghost on her feed. Zero presence, maximum impact. Indifference is the most lethal weapon for those who figured out the game. It's not about scorn, it's about owning your stage and closing the curtain at the right time. And when she realizes there's no more audience, no clown, no encore, her circus dismantles in absolute silence. And the only prayer now is that you never go back to being that desperate guy. Too bad for her. You learned the lesson and the show is over. Number 5. The transition from the accessible man to the cold man. When the free server goes premium inaccessible, you were the open Wi-Fi in her life. Always there, always online, always ready to absorb the emotional frustrations of someone who barely knew how to type "thank you." Easy smile, instant reply, infinite patience, and of course that ridiculous willingness to tolerate disappearing acts, lame excuses, and crumbs disguised as affection. A true emotional ambulance 24/7, no days off, no vacation, no salary. And guess what? All that dedication turned into an emotional trash bag. A woman who lacks the maturity to receive consistency turns stability into boredom, predictability into contempt, and kindness into a doormat. You thought you were scoring points, but you only accumulated clown wheels on your life resume. Until one day the excess contempt became a vaccine. Not because you turned bad, but because she dug your coldness with her own hands. Every time she vanished was a spade full of dirt on your warmth. The helpful guy became absent. The good night emoji became seen. The 2-minute voice note became K. The emotional emergency room became a closed door. And it wasn't revenge, it was survival. Suddenly, you became the mystery of the week, the guy who no longer replies, who doesn't show up, who doesn't fall for cheap provocation. The accessible guy became an enigma, the predictable guy became a nostalgic memory. And the best part, or worst for her, only now, when your absence is the one that hurts, did she realize that true presence isn't begged for on your knees, it's valued when it exists. Too bad you're a rare relic now, a legend of detachment, a protected heritage against emotional tourists. Number 6. When she comes back, her ego returns before her pride, but you're the one who decides. Yes, she will come back. Don't expect an apology, much less a sincere acknowledgement. She sneaks back in, slipping in an emoji, liking an ancient photo, posting a story with an accidentally nostalgic soundtrack. Nothing explicit, because a woman who vanishes out of vanity doesn't return to admit she missed you. She comes back to check if she still has you on her emotional leash. The approach is always subtle. A "you've been quiet," a "what's up," a pathetic justification about a busy life, but never ever a "I was selfish and treated you like garbage." The only goal is one, to find out if the red carpet is still rolled out for the diva of contempt. If you're still emotionally wagging your tail, if you're still ready to beg for attention. In short, Control Test 2.0. This is where Rule 2 becomes your biggest ally. Disappearing isn't just for when they ignore you, it's for when they try to resurrect the puppet you've already killed. Don't fall into the replay trap. Don't agree to be an extra in the soap opera where you were humiliated waiting for a happy ending. She doesn't want you. She wants to guarantee she can still call you up as an emotional backup. Now the main role is yours. She returned because the echo of her own emptiness bothered her. Let her trip over the absence she herself dug. You are not a lighthouse to guide the triumphant return of someone who scorned you. It's not a re-edit. It's not a rerun. Someone who ignores a presence deserves to get lost in their own absence. And that champ is not taught with dialogue, nor with a second chance, much less with fake longing. It's taught with disappearance, that silence that says, now I'm the one who vanishes. Number 7. The cold line that closes the cycle. The last chill served without drama. Finally, she decides to send you that random message. A hey stranger, and I was thinking about you, or the classic question worthy of a bad soap opera writer. Everything is camouflaged to check if you're still sitting there, emotionally wagging your little tail at the door. But now, champ, you've learned, the ego of empty people only fools those who like to beg for crumbs. And this is where 90% of men fall back into the trap. Recycled attention seems like a prize, but it's just a repeat of the shame. But you, dear survivor of the circus, have understood the game. You don't need a long message, you don't need a speech, and you don't need to waste your fingers writing self-sabotage poetry. You need one sentence. Cold, simple, surgical, lethal. I understood the message and acted accordingly. No anger, no pleading, no cheap drama, just absolute clarity. Her silence was the message, her disappearing act was the strategy, and you finally reacted with the only answer a man of value gives. You vanished. And when she comes back expecting the old accessible guy, she finds the elegant absence of someone tired of begging for presents. That sentence doesn't hurt because of the content. It hurts because of the lack of need for explanation. It's the surgical full stop to the humiliation soap opera. There is no encore. What will she feel? The echo of her own choice, because those who sow a vacuum reap silence. And sometimes, silence comes as the final message. Door closed, lesson learned, cycle ended. Lethal closure. The silence that teaches what pride refuses to learn. She ignored you, believing you were predictable, that you would beg, argue, demean yourself to prove you were still there, firm in the line of emotionally available men. But you didn't reply, you didn't question, you didn't fall into the notice me trap. You simply went silent, and suddenly silence became your signature. And that's what she never expected. A man who disappears without warning, without anger, without noise, only with dignity. Now she wonders where she lost you. Easy. The moment she confused your interest with desperation, your attention with weakness, and your presence with an obligation. She thought ignoring was seducing, that testing you was fun, that having you wrapped around her finger was a guarantee. Well, the toy quit the board, and the game is over. And now she talks to the echo, to the void, to the silence that bears your name and no longer replies. You didn't need revenge. Your coldness did the job. Your absence became a memory. Your indifference became a mirror, and she finally sees what she lost when she thought you'd always be there. Control slipped through her fingers, and the disappearing act she used as power returned as a sentence. Because the man who learns to vanish at the right time doesn't become an ex. He becomes premium trauma. So, if you were ignored and had the elegance to shut up, comment, I applied Rule 2. She felt it. It's not a catchphrase, it's a certificate of high emotional evolution. It's the official badge of, I'm no longer an employee of someone else's ego. And if this text gave you the slap on the face the psychologist was afraid to give, do me a favor. Send it to that friend of yours who still sends, "Good morning, princess," to people who treat him like human spam. Teach him to vanish, to shut up, to value himself. Because in the real world, those who overreact become a pastime, but those who go silent with coldness become a haunting memory.